Many nations across the world have come to recognize the importance of these key sectors to nation building, revenue generation, economic development, and overall growth. In Lagos State, under the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu, youth and social development remain topmost priority through the 6-pillar developmental agenda, T.H.E.M.E.S. In today's edition of T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda This Week, Adewale Oluwoporoku of our News and Current Affairs Department examines the activities and achievements of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development, which is charged with the responsibility of planning, devising and implementing policies as they relate to youth and social development in line with the T.H.E.M.E.S agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu. Social development is about improving the well-being of every individual in society so they can reach their full potential. It requires the removal of barriers so that all citizens can journey towards their dreams with confidence and dignity. Youth, on the other hand, can be said to be a period of transition from the dependence of childhood to adulthood independence. Yet, age is the easiest way to define this group, particularly in relation to education and employment. Hence, youth is often referred to as a person between the ages of leaving compulsory education and finding their first job. In Lagos State, the Ministry of Youth and Social Development is established and designed to provide social development services that give succor to the vulnerable members of the society, such as children, youth, the elderly, and persons living with disability, PWDs. Under the Sanwo-olu administration, the ministry has conducted various seminars on sexuality, reproductive health for youth and adolescents, effects of COVID-19 on the mental health and psychosocial well-being of youths. The ministry also embarked on training relating to digital marketing skills, empowerment programs. Not deterred by the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic and EndSARS protest, the Ministry of Youth and Social Development also organized a day mentoring program tagged Time Out with youth influencers in the state. There is no doubt that the youth comprises 75% of the state's population. Hence, the switch moved by the present administration on February 19 this year to inaugurate the newly constructed and remodeled Abeson Youth Center, which is equipped with counseling and vocational training rooms for catering, tailoring, shoemaking, ICT, hairdressing, a football pitch, and a basketball court. In the same vein, the following centers were equipped to make them more functional: Ojoni Youth Center, Isolo Youth Center, Lafiaji Youth Center, Akinwumi Youth Center, while the Ikeja, Ikorodu, Omituntun, Obeleoniwala, and the Samshoni Barra Youth Centers are currently under construction. The establishment of modern youth centers across the state is aimed at cultivating and enhancing young talents. The present administration is ever committed and determined to groom a self-dependent, self-reliant, and business-oriented crop of youths to curb unemployment. To ensure that youths are gainfully employed, the State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Olusegun Dawodu, hinted that the ministry has been partnering various ministries, departments, and agencies like the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment, Agriculture, Tourism, Arts and Culture, and other non-governmental organizations. Dawodu urged young people to seize the opportunity and key into the programs and policies that would help them acquire skills for self-employment.
Other youth programs that have been approved for this year include the third quarter and valedictory sitting of the 4th Assembly and inauguration of the 5th Assembly of the Lagos State Youth Parliament, the 4th edition of the Lagos State Leadership Initiative, which we tag the T.H.E.M.E.S Youth Academy. This initiative came up for us to inculcate in the youth the virtue of citizenship, leadership, and volunteerism for the development of their personality, the society, the state, and by extension, the nation. Also, have the biannual interactive session with registered voluntary youth and non-governmental organizations. These are voluntary youth organizations registered with the ministry. We have over 60 of them, and this is to encourage them to take part and come up with programs in their various areas, in their various communities. We have the transformation leadership training workshop for youth leaders engaging, and this is being tagged engaging the youth in nation building. Well, this affords youth an opportunity for them to be groomed as leaders of tomorrow. And of course, the Youth Mass Corps program was Lagos campaign for COVID.
It is worthy to note that children are also not left out of the programs of government. The Lagos State Children's Parliament provides a veritable platform for developing the spirit of leadership and selfless service in children. Members sit quarterly to deliberate issues that concern them. It is a 3-year single tenure with membership open to children in public schools whose ages range between 10 and 15 and is done by election. Though leadership skills preparing children for parliamentary duties have paid off, as the current majority leader of the 6th National Children's Parliament, Toluwani Sule, is from Lagos State. The Child Development Department and the Ministry of Youth and Social Development also provides adequate care and protection for vulnerable, abandoned, homeless, abused, or other children whose rights and privileges as stipulated by the Child's Rights Law 2007 have been infringed upon. One of such care programs is the training of members of the 6th Lagos State Children's Parliament on November 11, 2020. Other programs targeted at children include presentation of cash gifts to 2 families with quadruplets in the state as a way of supporting the families and making life more livable for their children. The ministry also handled 425 cases concerning children with 163 boys and 262 girls on cases such as physical and sexual abuse, defilement, emotional abuse, child neglect and abandonment, children in need of shelter, child labor, lost but found children, among others. Also, 814 children underwent vocational training, transformation, behavioral modification, empowerment and scholarships to higher institutions of learning, both local and international, while 178 street children were reintegrated back into the society. The impact of the ministry also touched school social work, which bridges the gap between families, communities, and the school in matters that affect children. Under this project, 400 school children have been impacted. Other programs include Family Social Service, which is a proactive approach to preservation of family stability, which is the core of any society. Diversion community rehabilitation programs for children between age 10 and 17 who commit minor offenses or at risk of committing offenses. On matters related to the elderly, the present administration in the last 2 years offered services and care to about 95 elders from the newly renovated state-owned Old People's Home, Yaba. The ministry also handled 5,742 new cases under the medical social services through 27 general hospitals, health centers, maternal and child care centers, accident and emergency centers, counseling and testing between May 2020 and March 2021. Adoption and fostering processes were also handled with 239 applications approved. For the persons living with disability (PWDs), on December 30, 2020, Governor Sanwo-olu invited various disabled groups, non-governmental organizations, and other stakeholders to the Government House Marina, where lots of fundamental issues were raised and his approval granted. To also show inclusiveness, the governor gave out a huge number of assistive mobility devices to the different clusters and to show his solidarity. In February, the governor appointed Mrs. Adenike Oyetunde as SSA on Disability Affairs. On free health insurance policy, the Commissioner for Youth and Social Development noted that the present administration, through the ministry, approved grants for 2,500 indigent PWDs who will assess 40,000 naira per annum to care for their specific health challenges whenever the need arises.
Other youth programs that have been approved for this year include the third quarter and Babajide sitting of the 4th Assembly and inauguration of the 5th Assembly of the Lagos State Youth Parliament. The 4th edition of the Lagos State Leadership Initiative, which we tag the T.H.E.M.E Academy. This initiative came up for us to inculcate in the youth the virtue of citizenship, leadership, and volunteerism for the development of their personality, the society, the state, and by extension, the nation. Also, we have the biannual interactive session with registered voluntary youth and non-governmental organizations. These are voluntary youth organizations registered with the ministry. We have over 60 of them, and this is to encourage them to take part and come up with programs in their various areas, in their various communities. We have the transformation leadership training workshop for youth leaders engaging, and this is being tagged engaging the youth in nation building. Well, this affords our youth an opportunity for them to be groomed as leaders of tomorrow. And of course, the Youth Mass Corps program for the Lagos campaign for COVID.
Various beneficiaries of the ministry's training and programs of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development speak on how they have felt the impacts of government through the ministry under Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu's administration.
Some things that we are not exposed to, like the child protection law, it's not new, it's not something I've ever heard of. So when I came into this academy, they instilled the fear, the discipline, everything that needs to build you up as a leader. It has been in us, it will never depart from us.
We are going to be coming out to advocate to see how proper waste management can be executed through the reuse of some of the waste items, the reduction of those items, and also through recycling. So as young people, we are going to put our hands and do the dirty work to make sure Lagos is better.
For me, on a personal note, it has really helped me in terms of internalizing the virtues of leadership, citizenship, and volunteerism.
I impacted a lot on my life because before I had the glossophobia, and that's called the fear to speak in public. But now I can speak anywhere. I go to secondary schools to talk to them about teenage pregnancy and drug abuse.
It is with a great amount of confidence that one can say that the Babajide Sanwo-olu's administration is a responsible one that does not only believe in planning, but also matching words with actions to achieve a greater and livable Lagos for all. This brings us to the end of today's special report on T.H.E.M.E S Agenda This Week, with focus on the activities and achievements of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development in line with the T.H.E.M.E S Agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu. For feedback, you can follow us on all our social media platforms: Instagram, Lagos Traffic; Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe to our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Also, you can now download our app, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, from Play Store for more updates. This program is a production of Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I am Abiola Fagbolagun.